You know, before I was gonna get set to do this recording here today, I was looking over at the table just real quick, because this is where I do all my recordings for voiceover stuff nowadays. And I looked over at all of this and I just said to myself, I really should clean this up before I start recording anything. And then I thought to myself, nah, I'm just gonna leave it as it is, because all of this right here, this is a perfect allegory right here of how my mental state has been the past few months. So, hi everyone, with that little weird introduction out of the way, it's been a while, hasn't it? And by a while, I mean nearly a year. Jesus Christ me, how can you never be on point with anything in your entire life ever? Oh my fucking god. Anyway, self-depreciation aside, let's get to the topic at hand here today. Where have I been, what's been going on, and what's the future of this channel? Well, to put it in a shortened format, stress, life, and everything in between has just been kind of a lot. I'm trying to get back into the habit of doing videos again, and with that, in transition is also a big thing that's going to be happening again, but that's a shortened version. The longer version goes a little something like this. So back in May, when after I had released the last video of the In Transition video series, it was the Rama 1/2 video, which has actually still been getting a lot of good traction I've been noticing as of late, so you know what, I'm really proud of that video now that I'm looking at that. But more to the point, after I made that video, I had been getting myself ready to make the next video in the In Transition series. That one was on the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series, which was already shortened down from an overly long video on Lauren Faust and how her products had actually morphed into what I am today. And it also kind of went into a little point where I talked about the Powerpuff Girls series, but I have decided that I'm going to talk about Powerpuff Girls at another point in time, because if I had to combine both MLPFIM and Powerpuff Girls into one video essay, I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to both of those. So I decided to rewrite the entire My Little Pony video and decided to get somebody really close to me in order to be the guest for that. And I got as far as the scripting for that one. I had gotten the first rough draft of that done, and I was ready to get the video from the person in question that was going to be doing the video portion of that, the guest bit. And then disaster struck. I had a complete hard drive crash. And I don't mean as in a complete hard drive crash as in, oh, it just completely just stopped working entirely. I mean as in, it was completely fucked. Like, I came home one day from my old job, more on that in a second, and Gemma, the person who I now live with, basically came up to me and said, hey, I heard your computer making this really weird whirring and clicking sound for a good, 5 minutes or so when I went into the office. So I turned it off at the back and, it stopped. And what I found out was that the hard drive had just completely failed on me, and there was nothing I could do about it. It had gotten to the point where it could no longer read from there, like the little clicker thing. Like, I'm gonna show a little description, I'm gonna show a little, actual example of what was happening to the hard drive. That's what was happening to that hard drive. And it basically got to a point where it was completely inoperable, and I still to this day have not taken it to a repair specialist in order to get any of the data shelved off of it, because a lot of people around me basically said, you're better off just buying a new hard drive. Now that alone was devastating for me, because I had years worth of projects on there. I had backups of a lot of stuff that I had done over the years on there. And worst of all, I had scripts for In Transition that were pretty much already written up at that period of time. And most of the footage that I had done for the MLP video, including the video of the guest. To say that I was completely fucking distraught about that was an understatement. What then ended up happening was that I got a lot of donations to get a new hard drive literally the exact same week. I got that, I believe it was like the day or two later, and I bought a solid-state hard drive to ensure that if this ever happened again, I would still have access to the computer using Windows. It's just that it was a very annoying process, and I spent an entire morning on a work day trying to basically salvage it. And by the time I had completed it, I was so mentally drained by the end of it I did not want to work on in transition or anything content related for a damn long while because I realized the extent of how much I had lost. So it's a good thing around about that period of time that I was starting to live with somebody new who was really close to me, the aforementioned Gemma. Now that has been a lot to adjust to as well, to the point where I haven't really been working on a lot because I am very self-conscious about the fact that I'm living with someone new now, and while I'm over that now and I'm starting to work on projects again, that really did take a lot of me just not wanting to do anything. And by not wanting to, I mean my brain literally was just thinking to myself, you can't do this, there's somebody new here, they're not used to it, they're gonna think you're weird for this. And it just took a lot out of me to basically do that. To the point where in transition scripts were written, but no recordings have been done since October when I finally rewrote the script for the MLPFIM episode. So the MLPFIM episode is still going to be recorded. I have still got to re-record the visual footage for that, so that by the end of April, you should be getting a new in transition video. Finally, keeping my fingers crossed on that one. Still do not trust myself with that type of thing, and I'm sorry phone, you're gonna have to shut up. I'm trying to focus here. And that leads me to the second thing that's really been kind of affecting me a lot. I'm at university now, and I'm studying a psychology degree in order to basically just widen my horizons in a sense outside of voice acting and doing online media. Now, this isn't necessarily to say I'm giving up on voice acting, it's more just me like trying to find different avenues to branch out with a career, basically to find different ways of maintaining a career. And I'm sorry I knocked into the microphone, things are cramped. I hate this. I'm trying to find a new place to live, and it's rough. Point being is that over the last few months I've definitely had a lot happen and things have been very hectic, but there's a few good things with that. The big one is that I've got a new job. And that new job allows me to work from home, allowing me to basically broaden my ability to have less time out of the house and being able, and that allows me to have less time out of the house on work days in between and not have to worry about commutes to the office anymore. So I can effectively use more time at home in order to do stuff like working out and doing voice acting stuff in my days where I'm actually working, provided I have the executive dysfunction to do this. Like, I'm doing this on a work day right now, and it is nearly 10 o'clock at the moment at night, and my executive dysfunction is fucked. So you can imagine what doing voice acting auditions, doing lines, doing literally anything will do to a person like me when they have to work a decently paying job. And by that I mean nearly $10 more than my previous job was paying me per hour, and potentially finally getting me on a permanent contract. And also trying to juggle everyday housework, and also potentially trying to juggle your own personal tasks like this, for instance. Let's just say my executive dysfunction is a fuck, but I'm trying my best with it. Overall point I'm trying to make with this is that I'm trying to get more into doing this again because I legitimately enjoy this and I legitimately enjoy doing this sort of thing, and I'm sorry I haven't really been all that active in doing this and voice acting as a whole a lot lately. Life just be like that, y'all, and I'm just trying my best. I'm doing what I can to basically just juggle it all at the same time. Like, I'm 25, I'm trying my best here. But the main thing is, should be getting a new in transition video before the end of the month. Keeping my fingers crossed on that one. You should hopefully be seeing more consistent content coming out a lot more. Hopefully you shouldn't have to wait another year for the next video after I get that one out. In fact, I'm gonna say this right now because I've hinted it on Twitter. You should also be expecting one more video hopefully soon. And that's in the style of Ellis Mark's ranking videos. So I'm going to be doing that type of style of video on every episode of the animated series of Teen Titans. What's the inspiration behind that? Well, I just rewatched it for the first time in like a decade with Gemma, and her reaction was just, how did people enjoy this? And my reaction was just, how did I enjoy all of this? So that's going to be an interesting romp in order to sit through and just go through all of that. And I'm really excited to do that because I've got some interesting opinions about the Teen Titans episodes. And a lot of them range from, this is really insulting to my intelligence, and oh my god, this is really incredible, this is the best thing ever, and really? that's it. So I really can't wait to get to doing that video whenever that ends up happening. But point is, gonna be a lot more consistent with trying to get content out. Gonna try and maybe do a bit more content here and there. And hopefully the next time I do one of these update videos, it won't be me completely exasperated and trying to get all of this out in such a way that I feel like I'm getting a little bit cramped right with this. But I think you get the idea. I'm back, I'm trying my best to get stuff out, and I enjoy this. Anyway, I'm gonna go pass out. It's like 10 o'clock and it's a work night, and I'm 25. I can't be stayed up late anymore, so later. Catch you on the flip side.